Hello, I'm back again. Went to another taste challenge. I have to preempt tomorrow because tomorrow could be, well, I think the schedule is going to be challenging. So I figured I have time now before I go watch the college softball game. Rather watch baseball, but softball is what's on. I don't mind it too much, but I have two Canadian blended whiskeys. This with no age statement. This is Canadian Lake, introduced in 1992. Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Bottled by Oak Park Distilling Company, Baltimore, Maryland. It has the same label design as Canadian Leaf, which is weird. Two different brands of Canadian whiskey with the same label design. They both come in beautiful plastic bottles. It's got this Sazerac diamond shoulder, I call it. Even if you get this in a 750 milliliter, it's still plastic. And I think that's the same situation for Canadian Leaf. They're cheap, cheap, cheap. But not the cheapest. $15.99 at Total Wine and More when it's in stock. It's out of stock right now at my local one. But I can find a handle of this, of a cheaper Canadian whiskey at Walmart when it's in stock for $10.48. Sounds crazy, right? $10.48 for a huge bottle of Canadian blended whiskey. Well, it's on their website. Not going to buy any more of it because I got two bottles now. That's another story. Here is Crown Royal XO. This runs about, if you find a deal, $32, normally about 35, 36, about the same price as like Chivas Regal. Introduced in 2014, so it's been on the market 11 years. They have a new bottle design now. Burley Sullivan says, you. Hey, Burley, cheers back to you. But this is the older one. In 2024, they came out with a new design, but it's got the gray bag with the gold, XO extra old, but we don't know the age statement. And XO is riffing off, as people like to say, off of a cognac. So it's not aged in cognac barrels, but it's finished in cognac barrels. So it's aged probably mostly in ex-bourbon barrels, but maybe the last 3 or 4 months they age it in cognac barrels. This is the old bottle design. It's got the crown on the back. It's got the plastic chrome covered, you know what I mean. It's metallic covered plastic gold, but it's really plastic. Blended Canadian whiskey, 40% alcohol. Getting kind of low on there. Last 20, 40, 60, 80. Yeah, last 20% of the bottle. These things go fast. Would I buy it again? I mean, I might buy it again. I probably wouldn't because I have so much to get through. But I mean, I definitely recommend this. I'm telling you now, I recommend this with no hesitation. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's unique. To finish it in cognac barrels gives it a little extra interest to it. Now, you say, well, that's just a gimmick. All these liquor companies do that. They take bourbon and age it in cognac barrels, port wine barrels, sherry back. I know they do. It's kind of a game, but ain't hurting anything. Okay. Canadian Lake. There are at least 10 to 12 people on this planet that love this whiskey. I know there's at least 10 because Total Wine and More's got 10 perfect scores on their website for this. And somebody was telling me, oh, that's all staged. They just only show the reviews that are positive. I said, that's not true. Definitely not true. If you look at their website, they show any review, no matter how positive or negative. Now, I mean, if it's a real review. Now, if somebody puts on there, some foolishness, they're going to delete. But if it's an honest review, you say, look, I hate it. This is why. They'll leave it up there. They got products on their website that give it a F grade. Say it's totally, thoroughly horrible, but that's rare, but they're up there. So now you can see, well, I don't know if you can see that because I'm looking at the video myself, but you maybe see that this is more copper and that this one is more amber gold. Now, Oak Park Distilling, in other words, the Sazerac company, who owns Buffalo Trace and Oak Park Distilling and Montreal, Canada Distillery, what they call it, Old Montreal Distillery now. Used to be called Colby Distillery, I think. Anyway, they tell you on the bottle, natural flavors added, which is allowed in Canadian whiskey. And in fact, they don't even have to tell you. I'm trying to figure out what this person is doing next door in her driveway. She painting something? They don't even have to tell you that they add flavoring. Canadian whiskey regulations, they can add flavoring and they don't have to put it on the bottle. But Sazerac is good about that. They'll just put it on there. And if they add coloring, they usually put with caramel color or whatever. Doesn't say caramel color. So I'm assuming that it does not have caramel color. All right. Could the Crown Royal have flavoring or coloring added? It's possible. Certainly not. It's certainly not forbidden. It does not seem like it has flavoring added. It does not appear to have coloring added, but then on the other hand, I could be totally tricked by that because they might be very careful in how they do it. Okay, we'll look at the website. You'll see the new bottle. The old design is nice and the new design is nice. They're both nice. So there's the new Crown Royal XO bottle. Now, Crown Royal is trademarked, but XO is, so there's no trademark date on that because they don't trademark XO, which is a common usage abbreviation or what you call that, not an acronym. Is it an acronym? They use that for, you couldn't trademark XO. Skillfully blended finished cognac casks or barrels, as we say, resulting in both an extraordinarily complex and smooth expression. This is an elegant whiskey that is deliciously balanced with spice and rich dry fruit. And you can, I'm not going to read them because I don't want to influence myself. And besides that, I can never remember anyway what I read on those tasting notes. So nice looking bottle, old or new. Does Diageo own any cognac brands? They own at least one. I know of what they call that? It's called I have a bottle of the, oh, it's not cognac. I'm sorry, it's just French brandy. Scratch that. Do they own any cognac brands? I'm not sure about that. Let's see, Diageo. Diageo. Our brand. Oh, age statement. It's so irritating. I've entered this a million times. Why do you need to keep asking this? I'm not under 21. Explore our brands. Cognac. Oh, okay. Hennessy. Oh, that's right. They have a partial ownership in Hennessy. Hennessy is owned by HL. What is it? LVMH, HM. Louis Vuitton, Hennessy Moet. But Diageo's got an ownership in it now. Yeah, Hennessy. Okay. But I don't think that was the case in 2014. But they could have rented out the barrels from somebody, so it doesn't mean much. Cognac. Cognac is like whiskey made from grapes rather than grain. It's sort of like grape whiskey. With whiskey, you take grain and you make a beer with no hops or anything. It's unrefined. You take a beer and you distill it into liquor, whiskey. With cognac, you take a wine. They take wine and they distill it into a liquor. In other words, brandy or cognac brandy. Same result, more or less. A liquor, not the same flavor. Oh, she's like sanding something. I could see her with some instrument out there. You hear that? Smells pretty rich, smells pretty oaky, smells pretty whiskey saturated oak. Smells nice. Is it extraordinary? I don't know about that. Now, does the cognac make the whiskey taste like cognac? It doesn't make it taste like cognac. This gives it a little tweak, like a, how do you describe that? If you've never had brandy or cognac, how do you describe that? Guess you can't. You have to go, but you can kind of imagine like how grape jelly would taste and imagine it in the format of a liquor. I don't know. That's too simplistic of a explanation. They both smell like sweet corn. Sweet corn. But this has like distinctive oak barrel, and this has like vanilla. So I'm thinking this is the Canadian Lake just by virtue of that vanilla thing, and this has the oak barrel, the wine barrel. All right, let's go with the taste. Cheers. Like I said, price about $35 a bottle for the Crown Royal XO. You might find it cheaper, but not much cheaper. $15.99 for this huge thing. What if you find a $7.50? Yeah, be about $9. So $9 versus 35. It better be much improved, and it is. It is. Okay. Now, how does the cognac cask or barrel, we say in the United States, people don't use that term cask here. It doesn't have actually cask has no meaning here, but casket is a coffin, but cask, no. It adds like a fig Newton to it, like the figginess of the fig Newton, like a fig, something like that. It's hard to describe. It adds a tweak to it, a richness. Yeah, richness. Does it taste a lot different than regular Crown Royal? I would say it tastes a pretty good deal different than the regular Crown Royal. If you drink this, you would not think it was regular Crown Royal. I don't see how you would believe that. Now, Canadian Lake. I'm going to call it now Canadian Lake. Yeah, I got it. I have one left. I have the Crown Royal Bourbon Mash, aka Blender's Mash. There's zero possibility I could get those confused. So I'm going to finish this series, a very long series, I might add, because I got a lot of Canadian whiskeys, with only 2 losses, which is better than I had predicted. I thought I would do a little worse. So I'm happy about that. I don't know the total score. I have to add up all the contests, but it'd be like 18-2, maybe 17-2, something like that. I'll look it up. Here comes the train. Kansas City Southern, eastbound toward New Orleans from Kansas City. Wayne Oliver says, cheers, Ronald J. Cheers to you, Wayne. Is there anything positive that we can say about Canadian Lake? Well, there's a lot of positive things we can say about it. A, it's $15.99 for this huge bottle. Secondly, the availability's, not that great, but some places have it. I found it in Metairie, Louisiana. They have it in Texas. I don't know if you'll see it around. It doesn't matter. It ain't no loss if you can't find it, but it's might, here, there, sketchy distribution. If you find Canadian Leaf with the same bottle design, it tastes about the same. So, and the price is going to be even. They're going to cost the same. So yeah, either or. The vanilla, the sweet corn, the vanilla, the subtle oak, the rye spice, they're all there. I mean, it is what it is. It's all right. It's not bad. I guess it's a B minus, like marginally good, maybe even good, like an 8.3. Yes, I think I'll go with an 8.3. It's enjoyable enough, but of course, I wouldn't be trying to track it down, but then neither would anybody else on earth try to track it down. But I stumbled across it. It was at the store, Total Wine and More. I said, $15.99. What the heck? I'll buy it. Crown Royal XO. I see this everywhere. Walmart. Well, everybody. Winn-Dixie, Total Wine. Everybody sells it. Everybody, like literally every liquor store. In Louisiana at least. So there's no tracking it down. So why did I hesitate while I was looking for the price? Because I did notice that every store does not have the same price. It's not like $32 across the board. It'd be like 32, 33, 32, 34, 35. Then some stores is crazy. They have it like $38. And I'm like, 38? So I just checked around and got it for the cheapest price, which was like $31.99. I think it was $31.99. So yeah. And nothing wrong with shopping price. Did I drive way out of my way to buy it? No, certainly not. I just knew I was going to be passing by that way that day. And so I bought it. Burley Sullivan says, Ron, do you like the band Deep Purple? I like them to an extent. I don't know what that has to do with Canadian whiskey, but I have their greatest hits. Well, I have one of their greatest hits albums from like the 60s music, like Mountain High, Valley Low, and Hush, Hush, and those kind of songs, which is a very good album, I might add. And then I have Machine Head, first printing LP with the poster, thank you. I have Live in Japan, Made in Japan, MADE, Made in Japan, 1973, but it was recorded in 72. First printing LP, double album. I have Perfect Strangers from 84, which was their comeback album, which I love. I've got Made in Europe from 70. What was that? 75, 76, with the David Coverdale era. I'm not too sure about him, but yeah, that's all right. I have it. I'll show it to you. I've got one called Extended Versions, which has got a lot of live David Coverdale versions like Burn and Mistreated. I think Rainbow redid Mistreated on there because Rainbow was a spinoff of Deep Purple, just like White Snake was a spinoff. Deep Purple split into two bands. Deep Purple split off into White Snake and Rainbow. So, and I have Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll, Ronnie James Dio's last album with them, and I have Rainbow on stage recorded in Germany in 1977, which I think is fabulous. I think that's a double album. I have an LP. It's great. So I have some of their stuff. All right. Okay. Crown Royal XO is the clear and present winner. Is it a real contest here? Nah, not really. I don't think anybody on earth would confuse these two. So Crown Royal XO, buy it at a store near you, but you should shop around because, like I say, you just might find it for $32.99. It's unlikely, but it's not totally impossible because stores will run sales. I've never seen a store run a sale on Crown Royal XO. I see them run sales on Crown Royal all the time, though. But yeah, nice little outfit. I got about 4 taste challenges left with this one. Delightful. This one here, well, look how long that's going to take. Hey, but it's all right. I'm not going to sit here and disparage it and say it's terrible because it isn't. Now, I have to make a double. I have either later this week or it could be early next week. It might be early next week. I'm going to have to double back to do bourbon because I overlooked a bourbon that I was supposed to bring into my bourbon taste challenges. I did not do G&W Gooderham and Wirtz bourbon versus this, and I did not do the Bird Dog Kentucky bourbon versus this. I forgot it was in the lower shelf. This is something called, I don't need these lamps on anymore. This is something called very old Barton. But it's not really that very old because it was only introduced in 1964. Crafted. Well, that makes sense because everything in the world is crafted. Might be crafted by a machine. Crafted, very old Barton. 86 proof. Now, this is the 86 proof. There's a red label 80 proof, which I did buy in Frankfort, Kentucky once. Half-size bottle. This is glass. This is the 86 proof. They're mid-range. Yes, there is a 90 proof. And there's a 100 proof bottled and bond version. Now, I bought this in Pascagoula, Mississippi. I have never seen very old Barton in Louisiana. No, I have never seen very old Barton in Louisiana, but I did buy this in, if I can get this thing to focus. We were on a meetup, Jean-Pierre and myself, the Beverage Ramble. We were driving through eastern Mississippi. It was southeastern Mississippi on the Gulf Coast during the scamdemic. It was a lot of fun, but just not going to focus. It's madness. But I was in Pascagoula and they had this bottle. It was $11.99, and you could get the big handle bottle for cheaper per ounce. But I said I don't need the handle bottle. But I noticed that they had the red label 80 proof, they had the 90 proof, they had the 86 proof, and they also had the 100 proof. But I couldn't buy everything, you know. Oh, finally it focused. Thank you. Now, would I go back to Pascagoula, Mississippi and buy this? The other variants. I would do that. Actually, I would do that because I'm only about 2 hours away. And then you just soon go to Pensacola and start stocking up on, because I'm about 3 hours from Pensacola, and I may as well go there and stock up on a bunch of beers that I can't get, like the 10% alcohol super high lie, extra strength. So I bought this. Um, some of the Kentucky viewers know about Very Old Barton. It's sort of a legendary brand in Kentucky. It's not known in Louisiana, but it's straight bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon. Don't know if it's sour mash. No, it doesn't say that. It's bottled by Barton Distilling in Frankfort, Kentucky. Bottled by. I think it's actually produced at Barton Distillery in Bardstown, which is down the highway from Frankfurt, but it doesn't matter. But 86 proof. Yeah, I'm going to do that one coming up. Like I said, it might be next week. But I got enough left for quite about 6 taste challenges. But if you ever see Very Old Barton, I'd recommend it, especially for $11.99. What the heck? All right, we all take care. Now it's time for women's softball. Thanks for watching, everybody. And the winner, the clear and present winner, of course, Crown Royal XO. Who would have ever thought any different? Nobody would have thought different. So y'all take care now. Bye-bye.